Okay, do you guys want to hear a funny story? So my 4-year-old came up to me the other day and she held up a marker and said, "We scoot at dawn." I said, "What? We do what at dawn?" And she said, "We scoot at dawn." and I took the marker from her and I said, "We scoot at dawn?" She goes, "No." And then my oldest was like, who was just sitting there doing her work, and she's like, "Mom, she asked you to screw it on." She had a marker that needed to be unscrewed, the cap unscrewed for her, and she was asking me to screw it back on. We scoot at dawn. You screw this on. Sorry. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Summer Meyers. I'm a homeschool mom of 5 kids. On this channel, we talk all things homeschool. So if that rocks your boat, if that, I don't know, something you're interested in, subscribe, notification bell, and we can talk about homeschool. Today, I wanted to talk about motherhood. So I've got a lot of brainstorming ideas, and I hope that when I just throw them out there, they stick. So we're just gonna pretend this is like a spaghetti noodle that I threw on my ceiling, and we're gonna see if it's cooked. The reason why I wanted to talk about motherhood was because, motherhood has so many heavy meetings, and what does it really mean for us, especially for homeschoolers who are not only just their primary parents, we're living with them and taking care of them and nurturing them. We're also taking on their education pursuits and making sure they succeed in learning. So I wanted to talk about that and how that works in my home and hopefully how it might help you in yours. I read a really interesting article the other day about a stay-at-home mom who also works part-time. And so she works on her computer when her kids are coming home from school, or, her lifestyle is a little bit different than mine. And she talked about how she had to make a mental shift. So some people would say, well, you just work while the kids are gone for school or whatever. But based on whatever circumstances, that didn't work for her. There were occasions where she was still working when her children were at home with her. And she said, when I was in those situations where I had to be a mother as well, I mentally shifted my attitude. I said, this comes second, my children come first. And I thought about that and I thought, oh, that is so powerful. So many times when I get into something, that's what I'm doing. Zoning in like the Death Star. Is that a good example? I like zoning in on one task at hand and just doing it. And when you have constant interruptions and things interfering in what you are doing, that is unbelievably frustrating. And her advice of mentally shifting and saying, this task comes second and my kids come first. Now, I am not perfect at this. This is something that I still am working on. But I know that when I am doing something, that ultimately my goal is my children. And I need to be able to set the task aside to address their needs for them. Now, this does not mean that I cater to every want and need, but it also means that I do not let my patience run out because I was interrupted by a task. Speaking of getting interrupted, okay, so I am preparing dinner, or I am reading a book, or I am doing my scripture study. But if my children need me, that comes first, and that's okay. And giving that priority list in your mind is one way to extend that patience bar just a little bit, and it really does work. I was talking with a mother of very young children. She has a small baby, a toddler, 2-year-old stage, and then a kindergartner. And she was talking to me about homeschooling and that struggle of, where do I find time? I'm holding a baby, I'm trying to feed a toddler, and I'm also trying to teach my kindergartner how to read. It's a season of life. If you only have one little baby, that's a season of life where you are just completely devoted to them and they're completely devoted to you, and there really isn't anything outside of that. When you just have teenagers, that is a season of life. You're no longer addressing food, water, bathroom, sleeping. I mean, you are, but it's a different hemisphere, and giving yourself that grace and just saying, you know what, it's okay. And my advice to her at the time was, do not pour out from an empty cup. You don't want to empty yourself out when there's nothing inside. Recharge. I know I've talked about that core and just strengthening that inner muscle of patience and filling yourself up even if you feel like you are empty. But also recognize that it's okay to just take a moment and take a step back and fill up and then come back in again. This part of life is only going to last for a little bit longer. And I know we make fun of the old grannies who are like, those kids aren't going to be little so long. Enjoy it while it lasts. And it's okay to enjoy it. And it's also okay to bemoan. But knowing that it's only going to last a little bit longer, you just have to hang on a little bit longer. And then it's going to shift. You're going to have older children. Then you can address their needs, that you won't be sleeping only 2 or 3 hours. You'll be doing something else then. Seasons of life, man. A challenge I want to offer to you for this week is to delight in your children, not just deal with them. We, as homeschooling parents, are in a unique position where we really don't get a break from our kids unless you're sending them out on play dates or whatever. They're pretty much at home all the time. And in that instance, it's so easy to nitpick at faults, to correct instantly, to be like, no sass, please, or go pick up that sock, please, or, like constantly correcting behavior, but also to focus on their good behavior, to also focus on things that they do really well and that you're proud of them for. I really enjoyed watching your sister and you play the other day. That was a lot of fun to see you two bonding. I really enjoyed watching you put away the dishes just now without anybody asking you to. I really liked that you helped your younger brother get down off that chair so he wouldn't bunk on his head. And just noticing those little good acts of kindness really helps them. And it also helps you. When you are focusing on the negativity of life, when you are struggling yourself and feeling anxious yourself and feeling empty yourself, counting on those little moments of gratitude of things your kids did well will absolutely fill you up. That's a great way of recharging. And it's a great way of saying, you know what? I'm not doing this so badly after all. When you focus on what's good. Delight in your children, not just deal with them. That is it for me today. It was just short and sweet. I wanted to talk a little bit about motherhood, and I hope this video was helpful. I hope that gave you some food for thought. If you liked it, like, subscribe, introduce yourself, and talk to me about motherhood. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next Monday. See you later. Bye.